Hi, welcome to the Brief Book Reviews channel, otherwise known as An Old Guy Reviews the Book That He's Read This Week. So what's the old guy read this week? Well, the book I've read this week is called The Girl in the Eagle's Talons, and it's another adventure for the girl with the dragon tattoo, Lisbeth Salander. It was published here in the UK as a hardback on the 29th of August 2023, and it's a new author taking up the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo franchise, if you will, called Karin Smirnoff. The original Millennium trilogy written by Stieg Larsson was very, very popular. Since his passing, David Lagerkrantz took on the task of writing the Girl with a Dragon Tattoo novels, wrote 3. But as I said, this is a new author. This is the first attempt by Swedish author Karin Smirnoff. It's also all about, how you say. Well, there's a gold rush going on. It's not a traditional gold rush. It's the search for cheap, clean energy. And there's a town in the north of Sweden called Gaskas. Apologies in advance for any dodgy pronunciations. There's a valley there, and there are lots of people interested in building, they've already got hydro, in building a huge wind farm to develop cheap electricity. There's also an old abandoned mine which has got rare earth metals in it, which also needs developing. So lots and lots of people are heading north. Unfortunately, whilst there are developers interested in developing this area, there's also some criminals. And in fact, there's one particularly Bond-type villain and his criminal organisation heading north to try and get their piece of the action. There is, of course, local concern about the problem part. There are people that farm reindeers that are going to have their farming disrupted by a massive wind turbine farm, and there's people that have lived there for years that basically don't want to move. So there's all those elements that go into play, and there's obviously the local council is very busy, and the head of the local council, the guy responsible for the licenses, a guy called Henry Sallow, and there is a suspicion that maybe he's just a little bit dodgy. But anyway, I digress. So what else is going on? Turns out there's a lot of people heading north. First of all, we've got bad guys in the form of a motorcycle gang that Salander has come across before. We've got the aforementioned bad guy trying to buy the rights. And we've also got Lisbeth Salander. Lisbeth Salander is heading north to Gaskas because she's got to find out what's going on with her niece's mother. Her niece, Svala, has said that her mother has gone missing, Meta, and she's one of many people that have gone missing. So Elizabeth's on the way to see Sala in Gaskas. She's not particularly happy because she's not particularly auntie material. She's not good. She's got no experience of looking after a younger child. This child's 13. But it turns out Savala's a bit of a mini-me. She's another little Elizabeth. She's very, very bright. And she is the daughter of Niederman, who was featured in a previous book, who was a blonde giant impervious to pain. She's got that from her father. So there's that part of the story. Also heading north, as if by chance, is Salander's partner in crime, Michael Blomqvist. He's heading north to see his daughter, Pernilla, and grandson, Lucas. Turns out Pernilla is about to get married to the guy called Henry Sallow, who's in charge of the licenses for the wind farm. So he's a bit suspicious that Sallow isn't quite what he seems. Millennium has just finished publishing their paper version, has now gone to a podcast, much to the disdain of Blomqvist. So we have this tale unfolding where everybody is heading north. We've got missing people, we've got potentially crooked politicians, we've got crooked organisations, and therein lies the tale. So in that aspect, it's a good thriller. It's very, very readable. You've got all the elements. You've got corrupt politicians. You've got money to be made by criminal gangs. We've got people going missing. We've got a race against time to find those people. So all those things meld into one, and it's a fairly enjoyable read. The snag, I guess, is that the book moves quite quickly and it's quite interesting. And there are some great descriptive passages. There's some very good descriptive passages where even in a warm room, you feel cold. So the author's done a great job setting the scene for the story and telling the story. I guess the problem is the book moves quite quickly, but it tends to fizzle out at the end. The good guys are chasing the bad guys, and you sort of know what's going on. There are lots of people involved in this book, but those ends are tied up quite nicely. And I guess the thing that's missing, if you're a fan of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, is the relationship between Lisbeth Salander and Michael Blomkvist, because in the earlier books, that relationship is almost key to the tale. And this one, it's almost peripheral. So, that bit wasn't too sure about. I guess a new character has been introduced to the series, Svala, Elizabeth's niece, and clearly we're going to be seeing more of her in future books. So I guess that was part of the plot of this book. So all in all, I give it 6 out of 10. It's an enjoyable read, but I think die-hard fans of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo might be slightly disappointed with this effort. But that's it for this week's brief book review. 10/10, so we do it again. Thanks for watching.